and the windmills are basically to show that we are in fact utilizing the energy, picking things up and moving them at will. My name is Michael Grubb from AMI. This is Kyle Lavelle from AMI. And so what we're doing here, of course, people would call it aerokinesis. I still call it basically magnetism, because that's what I'm doing, is I'm turning on and turning off portions of my magnetic pole to the objects around me, okay? There's so many different ways to look at how something like this would be activated. I'm sure there's tons of people out there who can associate with the feeling of the first time they listened to a song, and the song gave them cold chills. It just whoosh, went right up through their body, okay? If you could imagine being able to direct those cold chills, you know, that's a system of energy. And so if you can imagine being able to make those cold chills occur at will and then direct how that energy flows through your body and outward, okay, then you can get a good understanding of how one would be able to direct and focus that into all sorts of different manifestations, okay? Everything on this planet is governed by electromagnetism. Everything. And so if we take that into account and realize that even our thoughts are neurosynaptic charges, literal electricity just bursting, then you can also understand that these things can have physical effects, okay? And these physical effects can be noticed and felt in the atmosphere. One physical effect, and we're going to go to sex education right now, just briefly, but if you think about how powerful something like this is, in order for a male to achieve a physical erection, okay, literally the thought comes through first. Okay, so first it's the thought, then it's the action, and then something physical occurs, okay? Biological, yes. At the same time, it's electromagnetic. Now, we don't want to stay into that world or focus too much on lower vibrational realities or the root chakra, because you know, those are the lower, more primal forms of how people access energy. So what I'm trying to do is get a more balanced perspective. So once you can think of something like that, though, and you realize that it has a physical effect upon the body, well then, given that we are all made of the same thing, it's going to have a physical effect upon the environment as well. So, if one can literally transfer that energy at will, just literally dance with energy, see? Just literally dancing with it. Open up, focus in your unconditional love energy, because what you're trying to do is, again, build a relationship with your environment. A lot of your energy simply comes directly from your ambient environment around you in the first place. So, you can take and focus those points of energy that I was telling you about, being able to control those cold chills that come from your own system. Then actually going out and creating a relationship with your environment at all times. You know, as much as you can, be outside. As much as you can, be introducing yourself to the trees, to the energy systems around you, the ground, the flowers, the birds, the bees, everything that is out there that exists. Try to be a part of it. Introduce yourself to it. Literally, trees are some of my best friends in the whole world. So, do you agree with that? Got a bamboo around the corner that is an amazing being. I love hanging out with that guy. So, I love hanging out with just about body and everything, as long as everything stays on a harmonious vibration. So that is kind of how the feeling of being really well plugged in feels like. It is literally like you can feel cold chills, part of the vibe as your vibratory signature. It is literally fluctuating out into the environment. And once those feelings and once that electricity is born, it's literally resonating through all, the entire power grid. Okay, and so if a person is aware and a person knows how to really access their ability to feel this energy and to direct this energy, you can literally have a relationship with just about anything, an energetic, powerful relationship. There's a lot of things that I'm still working on, and I'm sure that there are just multiple masters out there who have broken through many barriers. I myself have the personal things that I want to see happen before I leave this planet on an energetic level, and I work on those on a daily basis, and part of working on that is by coming out here doing these videos or just practicing. Just coming out and practicing. I want you to see the remote access that has occurred. You can see with every pull and every push, getting a pretty strong response. And it's almost as if this thing is truly on a string. But I can assure you, there's no strings. Okay? No strings. That thing is other than the strings. That. But it's part of the way I've set up my controls to work this thing. My personal preferences. Directionality is very simple. As you can see, just move it all around at a whim, depending on what your connection is. Back to rocking these out. Putting so much effort into that. Look, you can actually see this thing bouncing up and down according to the energy that's hitting it. It's literally up, down, push, pull. Pros have been active this year. playing with lots of direction changes, because I like to. Notice how when I exhaled, that brought the wind in a bit thicker. Directional changes are literally caused by thought put into action. Okay, so obviously you have to have an idea in your mind, immediately in your head, of what you would like the thing to do while it's happening. Okay? Now I'm hoping that my movements here are obvious enough to where it's really easy to see exactly what it is that I am attempting to make happen. But again, thought, awareness. By using humming, I'm accelerating the atoms. As I accelerate the atoms, that puts more wind into the atmosphere. I can also accelerate the atoms, well, there's several different ways. Breathing. Okay. Sometimes just grabbing and fluffing like this, pushing up. That can bring energy in. Doing circular motion. Okay, because everything, at least in this world and the solar system as we know it, is made circles, spirals. Okay, so for this particular reality, that's one of the strongest forms of sacred geometry that one can use if they are attempting to actually bring in energy. I suggest polarizing that energy when it comes in with love. See? You got anything you want to say? So, we can tend to make this as low in energy as we want, low in scale. We can make it as reactive, which is fun because, you know, this is my way of literally dancing with energy right here. See that? See how I got it to twist around with me? Dancing with energy. You know, creating these vortexes that are now spinning around my body, interacting with this. If I want, obviously, and that's a few times now. More juice can be added to the environment at any given time. Okay? Get elevated forms of energy. Literally, sometimes just by reaching up and grabbing and pushing. Hello, fellas. Being visited by the crows, kind of. Alright, so maybe I'm going to start a new section. Oh, this is a load of fun right now. Always a load of fun.
There's just good many birds already.
So you see what frequency and breathing can do there. So all I did was push out and then project it out when I was humming. Notice how the more mellow I get, the more mellow everything in here gets. Probably asking yourself, how do I know when to do what? I don't. I'm just kidding. I actually do know when to do what. I've practiced it for a while, but my knowing when to do what has nothing to do with you knowing when to do what when it comes with your own system and how you tune and how you access things. So, certain things are programmed in because I have attributed the thought of what I want for each and every action to that sound. Now, there are other things that happen when it comes to frequencies as well. So, for instance, the tuning of C, G, or anything like that actually will have its own effect on the environment, not to mention whatever effect that you are imagining that effect should have. So, just by humming, you're putting a frequency into the environment, and with an entire system which is based upon frequencies, mathematics, and codes, and energy, That's a very powerful thing. Now right there, I just concentrated pretty much on the humming and allowed everything to take course just from the frequency alone. Okay, so I didn't apply much of my own thought of what I think should have occurred there. But it definitely had its effect. As you can see now, this is behaving entirely differently, at a different angle, being pushed and played with and pulled at will. So, it's pretty much whatever you want. It's reality creation. The whole reason why we learn reality creation, so when it comes time for us to graduate from these environments and learn what we have learned from them, we go to a place of our own creation afterwards, as opposed to another preset. So the whole point in learning your reality creation has everything to do with your own personal ascension and where you go from that point forward. Do you become your own creator and go to places made specifically by you, of which you know the effects and what will happen, or will you be in the makeup of someone else's game again, someone else's reality, someone else's rules? So that's the whole reason for learning it in the first place, is that you're teaching yourself and you're literally practicing for that day of ascension. Ascension can mean a whole lot of different things. Maybe it's when you die, okay? Maybe it's when you create some sort of a vortex and literally cross yourself over into a different environment. Maybe it's when this whole fifth dimensional environment gets laid in, which come in at any time pretty much. I believe that's part of the reason why we're having some of the effects in this world that we're having, is because there are certain colliding worlds now and certain colliding visions of what this place should be. So old constructs are going to start to fail soon. So ascension could entail a whole lot of different things. Question is will you be self-mastered enough to recognize when that moment comes and recognize when it is that you have to create your way into your next new environment of your own choosing? Eternal love.